What's going on, family? Welcome to another episode of the Seez Monroe Show. I am your host, and today we're here to talk about Jordan Peele's next big screen spectacle, Nope. This review comes out the same weekend the movie comes out, so I want to keep this spoiler free. So with that down, let's get into the review. Nope is an intellectual sci-fi film. I'm going to say sci-fi thriller because it keeps you guessing all the way to the end. And with this antagonist, it's a little different than we expected. From the second trailer, I can tell you right now, honestly, I thought that they gave us everything in the second trailer and we had nothing to guess about once we went to see this movie, but I was proven wrong. And I love that. As always, Jordan Peele, you've done it again. Acts 1 and 2 were phenomenal. The third act kind of struggled a little bit. It didn't give you that payoff that you were expecting because that first and second act were just so good and it left you wanting more. And the third act was just like, all right, let's get this over with. The standout performance definitely goes to Keke Palmer. She's always been a good actor. I just feel like she always chose bad movies. Daniel Kaluuya always does great as usual. Judas and the Black Messiah is one of my favorite movies of all time. He does a phenomenal acting job in that. Keith David is in this film as well, and he's in this film for a very limited time, and that was one of my gripes with that. You don't put someone like Keith David in the film and not use him, you know? From the looks of it, Keith David is 66 and he's been in about 66 movies. But I digress. Jordan Peele shifts genres with each one of his films. Like, first off, we have Get Out, which is more of a psychological thriller. Us, which would be more in the horror genre. And this one, which would be more of a sci-fi thriller. Jordan Peele is one of those that you can't put in a box. And I wish we stopped throwing that horror genre on each film he did. I remember seeing Get Out and it was labeled a comedy for some odd reason. Again, it just seemed like nobody watched the film or not the right people watched the film when the first critics released the reviews and whatnot. So we probably need to get a couple of them up out of here. Holla at your boy. Going back to the sci-fi aspect of things, don't get me wrong. When you go see this film, don't expect complete sci-fi. But hear me out. In the film, you're going to notice that there's going to be some times where we start talking about the antagonist and we start going into a deeper conversation about it. And honestly, it feels like they pulled back all of a sudden and went into another plot. And I'll explain that as well. I'm going to get into a couple other characters on my spoiler review. They have a storyline that I don't feel fit this plot at all. And when they were added into the plot, I felt like it was forced. And honestly, there was time spent on their story that we could have used more on the antagonist story. And there was another part in the film where one of the characters were discussing the first time seeing the antagonist. And I feel like if we would have went more into that, it would have made more sense in the end. But all in all, I give this movie an 8 out of 10. I don't have many 9s in my catalog, but this could have been one of them. There was just a few setbacks. One with the antagonist. Secondly, the characters that were used and they weren't used to the best. And also the storylines that were thrown into the plot that weren't necessarily helpful. So what do you think, guys? Are you seeing Nope this weekend? If you are, go ahead, let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll come back next week for the spoiler review, all right? Peace.